Today we're looking at Star Trek Infinite, a game that attempts to bridge the realms of strategic space exploration with the beloved Star Trek universe. The title has boldly gone where many games have ventured before, but does it do justice to the Star Trek lore while providing a fulfilling 4X experience? Let's find out. Star Trek Infinite throws players into a huge open space, nudging them to explore, grow, take advantage and conquer. Like PC Gamer put it, the game is somewhat like Stellaris, but with a twist. At its heart, it's a big 4X game, which means you're looking at a lot of exploration and playing around with what you find. Picking a faction really does affect how you play the game. Whether you're leading the Federation, Romulans, Klingons or Cardassians, each faction offers a unique journey. Eurogamer pointed out that while starting as the Federation might feel close to home, stepping into the shoes of the Cardassians or Romulans shakes things up a bit, ditching formal diplomacy for a tougher or trickier approach to dealing with other factions. And it's not just about the battles, it's also about the political mind games that come with your choice of faction. The choice drives the narrative, shapes alliances, and throws in unexpected challenges, making the gameplay feel fresh and engaging. So, whether you're in it for the familiar voyage with the Federation or looking to stir the pot as the Romulans, your faction choice sets the tone for your galactic adventure. Specifically, playing as the Federation, for example, may lead to more diplomatic engagements and cooperative missions, reflecting the Federation's peaceful and exploratory nature. On the other hand, choosing the Romulans could unlock gameplay that's more centered on espionage, military confrontation, and technological superiority, echoing their clandestine and aggressive stance in the galaxy. This dichotomy not only adds a layer of strategic depth, but also brings the unique cultural ethos of the Star Trek factions into the gameplay dynamics, ensuring each playthrough feels distinctly flavoured by the faction you helm. It's no secret that Star Trek Infinite draws heavy inspiration from Paradox Stellaris. Indeed, effectively, it potentially is a reskinned and slimlined Stellaris. However, this Stellaris-esque venture isn't merely a clone. It aims to offer a unique narrative blend, integrating canonical Star Trek events and characters within its sprawling strategic framework. Unlike Stellaris, where the narrative is more open-ended and driven by the player's actions, Star Trek Infinite tries to intertwine the established Star Trek lore into its gameplay mechanics, providing a sense of familiarity to us Trekkies. While Stellaris leans more towards a universal exploration with endless possibilities, Star Trek Infinite attempts to offer a tailored experience that resonates with the Star Trek universe. The game doesn't just stop at giving a fresh coat of Star Trek paint over Stellaris mechanics. It endeavours to merge the exploratory and strategic depth of Stellaris with the narrative richness and character-driven stories of Star Trek. This fusion aims to provide a gameplay experience that feels both expansive like Stellaris, and engagingly narrative-driven like a Star Trek episode. Through this blend, Star Trek Infinite seeks to carve its niche, appealing to both the strategic minds and the Star Trek geeks. We can't make a video like this without mentioning Star Trek New Horizons, which is a total conversion Star Trek mod for Stellaris. This mod has carved a special place in the hearts of Star Trek PC enthusiasts. The mod showcases a fan-crafted, expansive universe that stands in contrast to the more narrowed scope of Star Trek Infinite. While Infinite restricts players to just 2 quadrants and a limited timeline, Star Trek New Horizons thrusts players into the entirety of the galaxy through all timelines, offering over 50 playable factions compared to Infinite's 4. Critics, like Eurogamer, highlight that while Star Trek Infinite provides a more controlled narrative experience, the sheer breadth and depth of Star Trek New Horizons provides a rich, fan-created journey through the Star Trek universe. Though a narrower scope isn't inherently negative, as it can indeed foster a more focused narrative, and it does pose a stark contrast to the boundless exploration of Star Trek New Horizons. The choice of playable factions in Infinite also sparks discussion, making the Borg a playable faction as opposed to a formidable adversary to unite against might be a deviation from the essence of the peril they traditionally represent in Star Trek lore. The The differing approaches between the two experiences underscore the balance between narrative control and expansive exploration. Through these lenses, Star Trek Infinite and Star Trek New Horizons mod present unique voyages, one through a more narrative-driven lens, and the other through a vast, player-driven galactic sandbox. However, not all is smooth sailing in the narrative seas of Star Trek Infinite. Eurogamer points out a substantial disconnect, stating the game flounders when it comes to narrative logic and Trekkie authenticity. Some inconsistencies with the Star Trek lore can be a bit jarring for the fans, highlighting a struggle to balance the grand strategy with the rich narrative of the Star Trek universe. For example, the game might throw at you a message from a well-known Star Trek character aboard a ship that, according to the lore, hasn't been built yet. It's moments like these that can pull Trekkies out of the experience, making the game feel less like a part of the Star Trek universe and more like a generic space strategy game with a Star Trek skin. Additionally, while the game attempts to tie in major Star Trek events and characters, sometimes the narrative seems to fall flat, lacking the depth or context that fans might expect from a Star Trek title. The challenge here lies in marrying a grand strategic gameplay with a narrative that honours the rich and nuanced Star Trek lore, and it seems like Star Trek Infinite is still finding its footing in this area. The reviews paint a picture of mixed reactions, with much appreciation for the game's strategic depth and the diverse gameplay experiences offered by different factions. However, there's a noticeable rift when it comes to the game's narrative aspects. The inconsistencies and deviations from the established Star Trek lore has left some fans feeling a bit adrift in an otherwise immersive setting. A score of 72 from PC Gamer sheds light on a solid attempt by the developers, but hints at missed opportunities to truly make a groundbreaking impact in the genre. While the strategic and faction-based gameplay is a hit, the narrative missteps underscore a crucial aspect that might need revisiting to fully captivate the Star Trek enthusiasts and transcend the Stellaris blueprint it heavily borrows from. The tug-of-war between adhering to the beloved lore and introducing fresh, engaging gameplay dynamics seems to be at the heart of the critiques, hinting at a potential area of focus for future updates or modifications. Star Trek Infinite is a mix of exciting promise and some bumps along the way. It sets up a big playground for those who love planning out battles or diving into diplomatic talks. However, for the hardcore Trekkie fans, it might fall a bit short on delivering a true Star Trek story experience. As time goes on, and maybe with some help from the modding community, there's hope that Star Trek Infinite might hit the right notes. Will it rise up to be a hit in the gaming world, or will it fade away? That's something only time will tell. But with every new exploration, alliance and battle, the game will slowly carve out its place in the Star Trek and gaming universe. So that wraps up our dive into Star Trek Infinite. If you've enjoyed this review and video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to share your thoughts too on Star Trek Infinite in the comments below. But until next time, take care.